Oh boy. Oh boy. Oh boy. Hey, everybody. Hey. You're not ready. I'm almost not ready myself. And I have known this person forever. So, I'm going to give you a little backstory. Myself and my special guest tonight, well, I'm sorry, I'm all discombobulated. Welcome to the Birthday Vibes Countdown, presented by Signature Blends by KF. Thank you guys, my coffee line team. Thank you so much for putting this together for me. So listen, this was created to count down to the 12 days to my birthday, which is May 12th. Thank you in advance for all of the wonderful birthday wishes and just all the love and everything. Really, really appreciate it. Really appreciate it. So we are, I almost pushed the button. I'm so ready. So we are really, really blessed tonight, I have to say. The reason why I wanted to do this Birthday Vibes Countdown is because, you know, traditionally people give gifts, and it's really important to me that you guys understand the people that are gifts to me and who have poured into me and my gifts in my village. And so this person has been, I mean, a pillar in my village for over 30 years. He's spectacular as far as humanity goes. We're going to get into, you know, his skill set as an actor, but what you need to know is that he's a spectacular human being. And so many of the gems that have been dropped in my spirit that I may drop in an interview or in my autobiography, I'll be the first to tell you who it came from. So let me get him right now, and then you can see who these gems have come from. Wait, there you are. Here he comes. Here he comes.
Oh, I'm sorry. Well, I was just reading this incredible book. You might want to read it sometime. Blessed Life, Kim Fields.
Hey, bro.
I'm up here minding my own business. What's going on with you? Happy birthday
Look
to you.
at you with your beard game coming
Oh,
all
listen,
in. Oh,
hey,
I'm
this
so
is
sorry.
that.
Ladies and gentlemen.
We deep in that quarantine.
The incomparable, the amazing, the spectacular Mr. Blair Underwood is
Oh,
in
thank
the
you.
building. What? Baby,
What
your
up?
numbers just shot up, okay?
Listen, Kim,
Hi.
I listen. I was watching your introduction just now. Thank you for that beautiful introduction. You started doing the math like 10 years, 20 years, 30. Has
Yeah.
it been that long?
Yes, sir.
I think it has been.
Yes, it has been.
Wow. Well, I'm a lucky man.
Oh, well, right back, right back, right back. So, everybody, Blair and I go way back to the way back, and all the comments
Yeah.
are coming in. So, sending love from Harlem. What's going on, Harlem? You know, Harlem in the
Chicago.
house right here. And we've got great stuff to talk about, and I'm not going to take up a whole gang of Blair's time. So,
No, you have
everybody's
whatever you
talking.
need. What's up? I ain't got. It's not like I got somewhere to go. It's about that lockdown.
I feel you. So let me give the party people a little bit of backstory about our history, our friendship, and how deep it runneth.
I might start reading your book while you're doing all that stuff. I'll be listening to you.
Thank you. So Blair and I actually met at the premiere of a Janet Jackson video. The video was for the song All Right. Remember the song when she was going through every which way and the wardrobe change and all that, and it was a great video. So back in the day, they used to have these premieres, especially for Janet's videos, because they were epic.
Yeah.
And so Blair and I met, and I was a fan of his forever, from when he was on The Cosby Show, from when Blair, the little bit that you did on a soap opera.
One Life to Live. That's right. Woo! Come on, we're taking it all the way back. Let's go. Let's go.
We're taking it all the way back, brother. We're taking it all the way back. So, so that's when we met. And then, you know, we just kind of kept seeing each other at different events. All this time, and as fierce of an actor as he is and I am, we have never worked together.
Yeah, that ain't right. We got to fix that. Well, we've never worked together in front of the camera. We worked together behind the camera, aka Second Coming.
Yes,
But
that's
no,
very
you're
true.
right about that. Not in front of the
Yes,
camera.
when I started directing, and there's so much, it's hard to figure out. And I was thinking about, you know, us getting together today. I was thinking about, well, how do we do this? Is it linear? Is it chronological? So all sorts of things. So what Blair is referring to, Blair, when he started directing, we started directing right around the same time. He was a little ahead of the game than me, but he shared his opportunities. There's gonna be, y'all might even want to get, I know you just want to stare at him, but you might want to get some paper and a writing utensil, or another way to take some notes, because he's a gem dropper.
Oh,
And he has dropped so much into my spirit over the decades. But Blair shared his opportunity as a director a couple of times. Blair, when he directed the Tony Terry video.
oh wow. That's right.
For When I'm With You, y'all.
When
Blair,
I'm with you. That was that whole
come on
it was
now.
that was a wedding video forever in a
Yes,
day.
yes,
Yeah.
it was. So Blair directed that video. And he let me come in. First, I went to the set and I just kind of shadowed him and observed him. But then after that, when he was in editing, he let me just kind of, you know, sit back and watch and learn. And he shared the opportunity. And then when he directed and produced a film called The Second Coming, which is, you know, having a whole new life with historians and at the Smithsonian and all kinds of
Yeah.
things. Somebody said, no, I'm not taking notes. I need to just look at Blair.
That is hilarious.
It'll be on for 24 hours. You can come back and take notes.
Beard and all.
But Blair ended up directing and producing and co-writing this film, Second Coming. And so, again, he shared the opportunity, and I was able to be a part of the crew. And I was a second AD. And that's a glorified title for go for this, carry that, that sort of thing. But he's always been so generous with me, with his time, with his opportunities, with his wisdom, what his parents poured into him. You know, after I wish my family a happy Mother's Day or Father's Day, on the heels of that, I called Blair.
Yeah.
And I wish his family the same, because they have poured into me through him.
Well, Kim, go ahead. Don't let me interrupt.
That's all.
No, listen, you are like family to me. You know that, and have been. I feel like from the time we met. I may have told you. Well, I won't even say that, but you have been like family, and from the very beginning, you know, I may have kind of stepped into the directing before you, maybe a couple years older, a lot years older than you, but you were in this industry before I was, and I remember when I was in Virginia, because I was living in Virginia at the time, and went off to college, but even way back in the day, I first met you. I mean, I think my first inkling when I first saw you, I think was on that Miss Butterworth commercial.
Quite possibly.
Quite possibly. But I remember seeing interviews of you in magazines like Jet. It was Jet and or Ebony in particular. I was reading an article about you and how you'd go to church. And not being in the industry, I wondered, like, what is that life like? Being an actor and being recognized and being acknowledged, but yet going into, you know, a normal environment, school. You're talking about school and church. And I remember that. So in many ways, you don't even realize this. You inspired so many people, but you inspired me just to try to understand how to navigate this world of Hollywood if one day I was able enough and blessed enough to be a part of it. So I thank you for that, my sister. Seriously, that's real talk.
Wow. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay. So after we met, I wanted to work with you. I was still doing Facts of Life at the time. And then you came out to LA to do LA Law.
Mm.
And,
Right.
And I say came out to LA because you started in New York.
Yeah. I was going to college at Carnegie Mellon in Pittsburgh, and then really I couldn't afford to stay there. I was in my third year, my junior year, so I had to make a decision. What do? Do I go off to New York? Do I go to Chicago? Do I go to LA? And I ended up going to New York for a year and a half, and then after that year and a half, I did that One Life to Live, the soap opera, Crush Groove, my first movie.
I was about to say Crush Groove.
Crush grooving, body moving. Come on now. Hey, we all got to start somewhere, and I'm proud that was my start. I feel very fortunate and blessed to have got to start doing that. But anyway, then
wait a minute. That you had that glorious scene from Crush Groove when they introduced us all to Tender Love. Right? Am I right?
That's right. Force MDs. That was the love theme.
Yes,
with
it
Sheila
was.
E. and myself. That's right.
Yes, it was.
Ooh wee.
Oh, hey, come on now.
Hey.
If you're going to break out Miss Butterworth, I'm going to break out Force MDs.
You know what? I'm okay with that, though.
Because we are so blessed to have it like
this
that.
This is what I'm saying.
See there.
Very proud. No shame at all. You know what's funny? Sheila E. posted something just the other day. I might post this on my page by today or tomorrow. But she ran into Chris Rock. And Chris Rock said, hey, you know what? I was actually, an extra in Crush Groove. I never knew that.
Wow.
I never knew that till 2 days ago. He said, yeah, it's that scene where I come off the elevator and I think I get in a fight with Run DMC Run. Yeah, Joey. And I said, you look in the back, you'll see me, Chris Rock in the background, kind of dancing and saying, yeah, hit him. I got to go back and look at the movie now. But I'm going to post that video where Sheila and Chris Rock are talking about that.
Wow.
Yeah.
Y'all, I know. Oh, listen, Nicole, Ari, we're gonna get to that. Nicole is on.
What's Nicole talking about? What's up, Nicole?
Yeah, talking about hashtag the best Stanley. We know we're gonna get to the whole theater world of
and the best Blanche.
Listen,
Blanche Dubois,
the most fierce fire Blanche ever. I said it and I said it out loud.
Nikki put it down on that.
Ooh. Yeah. Okay, they don't know what we're talking about yet. Hey,
all
girl,
right.
Hey. So my friend Benita Hamilton, who got to see you in Soldier's Play, and she came backstage. Remember her and her husband? And
absolutely.
So she's one of the stars of Lion King, and you were so gracious, as you always are.
She was very sweet. I remember meeting her.
Yeah. So okay. So it seems like we're just gonna jump right into theater.
We're all over the place.
We're gonna be all over the place here. So what Nicole is talking about, guys. What's your first theater piece? Because was Streetcar your first Broadway piece?
First Broadway piece, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Definitely.
So Nicole and Blair did Streetcar Named Desire, and baby.
Ooh wee.
Ooh, to the wee. Hey, Bermuda, we see you, and so many other
What's up, Bermuda?
Places around the world. Italy is in the house. But let me tell y'all, you ever just feel like something's just snatching your whole soul and not letting it go, and then doing like this? That's what they did with that performance of Streetcar. I sat in that theater and I could hardly breathe. I wanted to run up out of that theater and just act in something because they were so powerful. So good. Nicole, girl, you did that thing. Blair, baby, you already know. I always tell you did that thing.
Well, thank you, Kim, for that, and I appreciate that. And let me give a shout out to Nicole Ari Parker. Nicole, by the way, I saw Emily Mann directed a Streetcar Named Desire on Broadway. Yes. And last night they did a beautiful tribute to her, and Nicole did a wonderful, beautiful tribute to her just to honor her. This was last night.
Yes.
So I haven't had a chance to tell you that, Nikki, but that was just incredible. But no, for both of us, for Nicole Ari Parker, for Nikki, myself, and Wood Harris, this was our Broadway debut. Now, we'd all done theater, but we had never been on Broadway. And Daphne Rubin Vega was incredible from the original Rent show. So the four of us were the leads in that play. But I tell you, doing Broadway, I love theater. Theater is my first love. And we've talked about that a lot.
Know. Yes. Doing
Broadway, because it is Broadway, it's the highest level. It's our highest expression of theater in our country. So to do that, it's an event every night. And there were times I turned to Nikki before the curtain go up. I said, we get to star on Broadway today. Let's do this. Party on stage. Yeah. So it's one of the highlights of my career, and I have fond memories on that. So shout out to Nikki.
Yes.
And
absolutely. Yes.
And I'm glad you came to see it to support your brother.
Absolutely. You know, I try to support everything, which
You do, 'cause I was
leads me.
looking for you at a Soldiers play. I was looking for you in the audience. I said, what?
Really, you gonna do
Did
that?
Kim come tonight? Hold up, did Kim come
You
tonight?
this
Oh,
what
she must
this
be
what we
coming tomorrow
doing?
night. We're doing that. So Kim must be coming tomorrow night because I don't see it tonight. Did I miss her last week?
This what we doing right now?
That's what we're doing. That's what
And
we're doing.
tell the good people why I didn't. Tell the good people
I don't
why
know
I
why.
didn't. Huh?
I don't think I ever heard. Hide nor hair.
Do you want me to call you by your middle name right now in these streets?
No, listen, hey, what I do know is if you could have been there, you would have been there. On the real.
Wow,
I know
you
that.
just
I
gonna
know
let me
that.
swing in the wind right there.
What were you
There's
doing?
a little
What
thing
was?
called a virus and a lockdown.
Oh, that's what it
And
was. That's what it
so
was. Oh, the
Broadway
global
got
pandemic.
canceled. My flight got canceled.
That's what it was. That's right.
So
That
we
whole
love you,
global
Nikki.
thing.
We love you too, girl. We love you. But that's why I missed it. You know, nothing was gonna keep me away except the
No, I
act
know that.
of you know, the world flipping on its ear.
True
So
that. True that.
yeah, that's what happened. So yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. No, that was crazy. And I have to say, I'm grateful that we had, you know, the Soldiers play, the play we were doing. We pretty much ran that whole run except for the last 2 days because they shut down Broadway on Thursday, March 12th. And then we were supposed to close the 15th on Sunday anyway. So I think that's the night you were coming, the 14th or the 15th.
Yes, I know. I was coming the Saturday night before you closed.
That's what it was. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Oh,
right.
thank you. Ed Gordon gonna rub it in now.
See,
Really,
Ed was there. Ed was there.
And David Allen Greer were great.
That's
I tried not to hate on all the
Ed,
pictures that people were posting when they came backstage. I was trying to be supportive and be, you know, big girl about it. But I had a little bit of fish grease hot in me on that one.
yeah. But I know you could have been. You would have if you could have.
You know, I'm there in spirit.
Yeah, that's right. That's right.
You know, I'm there in spirit. So,
Yes,
shifting
birthday
gears
girl.
now. Oh, and the play was a Soldier's Play, family. If y'all didn't know what we were talking about, Blair recently with David Allen Greer and Jerry O'Connell, they starred in a Soldier's Play. Somebody just brought up Medea and some the Tyler work that you did.
Yeah.
Hey Puerto Rico, hello. So when you think back over the roles, and Blair and I talk a lot about personal and professional stuff. You know, we do that dance all the time. You know, it's not like we're celebrities and all we do is talk about our careers and work and roles and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So when we have though talked about the career, shout out to longevity.
Thank God for longevity.
Shout out to God's grace, mercy, and power giving us longevity.
Yeah, that's right. True that.
And what I love about that though is that we do the work. Don't get it twisted. He got this, but he does the work as well, and even more so. And when I tell you, I mean, Blair Underwood is a masterclass in acting. And he's going to try to act all, you know.
I mean, you know, thank you.
Look at y'all blushing and shy. But it's the truth. And because we're going to get to Madam C.J. Walker. Y'all calm down a minute. I'm running my birthday vibes countdown.
It's your party. You do what you want to do.
That's right. That's right. But what I really, I marvel at how, number one, we have to keep reinventing ourselves, you know.
Yeah.
And that's the thing about Blair. Aunt Pat says hi. Please say hi to Aunt
Pat. Aunt Pat. Yeah, there she is. I was just checking out her pictures in your book, actually. I said, look at Aunt Pat.
There she is.
Yeah, that's right. Love her.
So when we reinvent ourselves, and here's the thing, guys. You have to reinvent yourself if you plan on doing anything for any period of time.
Yeah.
Even if it's not the same thing, sometimes just reinvent who you are as a human being. You don't have to have longevity in your career or your industry or your workplace. But if you just want longevity in life, you got to keep reinventing yourself. Keep it popping, keep it interesting, keep it fun. So for you, and I know we've talked about this a lot, but what kinds of things do you do that really have landed for you when it comes to reinvention and reinventing yourself?
Well, first of all, it's got to be authentic, right? It's got to be something that's real and true to us. If we're going to go down that path, like we talked about when we first started directing, we're talking about the 80s. talking about the late 80s, early 90s.
That's
So
right.
you knew right then you wanted to direct. You wanted to move from not just being in front of the camera, but also get behind the camera. That could mean a lot of different things. I think you and I have a similar path. It could be directing. Could be producing. I don't write, but we're storytellers at the end of the day.
Yes.
And then what I discovered with myself, and I believe the same with you, is acting was the first thing that drew me. But what drew me was the ability to tell a story and to inhabit a character and to become another person. But the other aspects of storytelling excited me also. So to me, how you reinvent yourself is going to be informed by where you want to end up. So for me, I didn't want to get stuck into just playing one type of role. Now, this is something you and I talked about too, just playing good guys and bad guys.
Yes.
So again, longevity, by the grace of God, has been 35 years almost. My first 10 years, LA Law, it was nothing but good guys. And then that was kind of really dictated by the character I played on LA Law. You know, this young lawyer, this young brash, kind of cocky, arrogant lawyer. Right. But then all the roles in between there were all kind of upstanding, noble, heroic. Jackie Wilson and not Jackie, Jackie Robinson. James Chaney from the Murder in Mississippi, civil rights movement during that time, and a lot of different characters along the way. And then Just Cause came along.
Yes, flip that script, baby.
You know what I'm saying? Got to flip that script with Sean Connery, Lawrence Fishburne, and Scarlett Johansson. Ed Harris, and in that role, in that movie, I played a serial killing pedophile. So that flipped the script. I mean, that was 10 years of playing a good guy. Yeah. And then from then on, there was all kinds of different characters that many people would say they're just bad guys. To me, they're people who may have questionable motives, depending on what the character is. Even the latest one, Self-Made, we'll talk about Madam C.J. Walker's husband. Yeah. But if you can get past, is he a good guy? Why does he always play a bad guy? Well, first of all, I haven't always played a bad guy. I always play a good guy. A Soldier's Play was a good guy.
Yes.
2 years on Quantico recently were good guys. So to me, the longevity comes from diversifying and changing up the game when you can, and never allowing people to get too comfortable and knowing what they think they can expect of you. Oh, so now I say, he's always gonna be the good guy. Then change it up, play a good guy, a bad guy, and then those are broad strokes. Then there are nuances and gradations in all of those characters. That's what I love doing. I think that's how you stay fresh. That's how you reinvent yourself along the way. Yeah.
For the longest time, guys, you might remember I used the hashtag expect the unexpected.
Right. Expect the unexpected. Because all we have as actors is our face and our work. But our face, the package that God gave us, is our brand.
Right.
That's the intro to our brand. Yes. Then our spirit and our soul and our intellect and our art and our craft, that's all behind that. But if people get burnt out on seeing your face, they're going to tire of you. Yeah. So you got to find ways to continuously change that, but at the same time staying authentic to who you are, but still keep people guessing. So they don't know what to expect.
That's right.
Hey, but you've done that. I mean, I look at Kim. I don't know. Okay. Hey, I got a new gig. So what does that mean? You're going to be directing. You're going to be starring. You're going to be producing. You're going to be dancing. You'll be doing a non-scripted, scripted. That's a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
I'm taking notes. I got my pen and paper taking notes from you.
Well, thank you. But I told y'all, gem dropper right here. But I think you can see that we have a love for what we do. We have a passion for what we do. It's not who we are, but it's what we do. And I think you said it best when you said, just the whole being storytellers. That's so important. Yeah. That's so important. Oftentimes people will say, well, do you have a favorite role? And for me, and I'm looking at the comments to see all the, people just putting in what their favorites are. I mean, from Sex and the City, the Adventures of Christine.
New Adventures of Old Christine. Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you Ironside.
Ha! Right.
See there.
You pulled that from way back here.
Well, I did. I almost gave myself a stroke pulling that out. But here's the thing. It was, sometimes I couldn't even get through the whole episode, y'all, without pausing it and calling him or texting him and like, oh my God, how did you make that change or that transition? How did you come up with that choice? How did you find the timbre of your voice in that scene versus this scene? I mean, when I tell y'all masterclass, you're not ready for how I study. But anyway, when you have as many roles as we are blessed to have, set it off. Thank you, Lonell. Set it off.
Come on, Lonell.
I'm gonna come back to college in a minute.
All right.
Because there's a special place. Blair has so much real estate in my heart. He has so much real estate. Okay, let me stay focused.
You as well.
When you have those roles, and you have, you know, like, oh, this one was my favorite because I felt like I put my foot in this. Or, well, this one, the role was okay, but I got to work with so-and-so. Or you know, what, and I know sometimes it's hard because to me, the characters are like my kids, you know, and it's hard to pick just one. But what are some of your favorites that you've done for you and why?
You know, it's funny. The other day I was looking around my office, and you know, I have one room where there's stuff, my career room, because I don't want to see my face any place else around the house. That's family place. That's Desi and the kids. But I was looking around my office, and I realized that most of the mementos I have and posters are pictures or souvenirs from theater productions. You know, Soldier's Play recently, Othello, A Streetcar Named Desire. And I think part of that is because those are the roles where you can really go deep. Now, those are the roles also most people won't see. You know, the amount of people that would watch one episode of Ironside, for instance.
Right.
We could do a whole run on Broadway, and you still won't hit that many people. But in terms of the craft and the process, I so enjoy being able to take that ride every night from beginning to end and ride that stallion, you know, all those ups and downs of that character. And then because you get a chance to do it over and over and over, you know, there's a downside to that. If you go, I have friends who've done plays for, well, your friend, she said she did Lion King for 15 years. I have mad respect for that because how do you keep that fresh? I don't know. I've never done that. But, you know, the longest one I've done is 5-6 months. And I love the possibility and the potential to continually reinvent and rediscover every night. So I think that's why the theater productions really ring true in my memory banks of career. But also, I tell you, it's the transitional jobs. You know, when your life has changed. LA Law changed my life. I had just come out of college. I've been there for a year. It was the #1 show on television for 7 years, on the #1 drama on television. So just to be a part of that completely changed my life and career. Doors are open to this day that are open because of that show. And then I think Sex and the City, because that show was so popular, it changed the trajectory of my career. Deep Impact, you know, because it was a studio film, was a whole different thing. You know, just different jobs like that along the way. Ironside, I mean, that was the first time I was, not the second time actually, but being #1 on the call sheet. We talked about that when you were #1 on the call sheet.
Being #1, yes.
Yeah, but it's a big responsibility. I'd done that once before with the City of Angels with Vivica Fox. So I had a great conversation with yesterday, by the way. But Ironside was the second time, and it was a different time in my career too. So it was different types of challenges. But I think it's a hard question to answer because there are a lot of roles that I feel grateful to have had the chance to play. And they all meant something special, something different at different times in my life and career.
I think, you know, and somebody was saying Asunder. And wasn't Debbie and Michael?
Another crazy one. Oh, yeah, Debbie Morgan and Michael Beach. Oh, yeah.
Oh, dear friends.
But
Debbie and Mom. No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Debbie and my mom knew each other when they were teenagers in New York. So Debbie has known me like when I was in the womb still.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Oh, man. Debbie, you talk about someone who doesn't age. That Debbie Morgan.
Oh, my goodness. I know. So we're talking about Debbie Morgan and then Mike Beach. He and I, the only time that I've been blessed to work with that skill set is when we did a play together that Tommy Floyd directed. South of where I live. And so it was the precursor for me to do Regine, actually. The story's in my book. I'm not going to go into it now. Yeah. But Tommy, when I did the guest appearance on Martin, he saw something in me that I didn't see in myself. And he was doing this play, and he basically put me in this play and doing it over and over and honing, you know, those skills and doing a character that really made me stretch out. And it
Right.
sounds like you're saying a lot of your favorite characters are the ones that really make you stretch as an actor.
Stretch. Absolutely.
Absolutely. And really work
Absolutely.
hard. Yeah. And so in doing that, I ended up finding a comfort zone in a lane with the type of character that I never would have thought I could do, especially coming off of Facts of Life.
Yeah.
And then when Regine came along and Yvette said, I wrote this with you in my head. I could hear you doing
That's the famous Yvette Lee Bowser we're talking about?
Huh? Yeah.
That's the famous Yvette Lee Bowser we're talking about?
That is the one and only.
Yeah, okay,
Yes,
just want to
yes,
give her a
yes,
shout out, yeah.
And so, you know, again, doing theater, I'm a theater baby too.
Yep.
And, you know, Blair is the kind of friend. And this is why I told y'all I was taking these 12 days to share with you people who have been gifts in my life. And as I always say, it takes a village to raise Kim Fields. And Blair is a cornerstone. Can I tell them? Can I share my nickname?
You can say whatever you want to say. It's your birthday.
So I call Blair my iron lighthouse because iron sharpens iron. And since day one, y'all, we have always sharpened iron with each other, personally, professionally, being better at being a human being,
and
being
push
a better
each other
actor.
and challenge each other.
Yeah, exactly. And then the lighthouse, because in some of my most challenging and darkest moments, personally and professionally, when I tell you, Blair has been that beacon of light when I feel like I am in choppy waters, when I feel like I'm in uncharted waters, I can just, no matter what's going on, I can look and I always see his light.
Well, listen, it's important that we be there for each other because it's necessary. And depending on what we're doing and who we are, the world we're living in, the business we're in, the industry we're in, it's very specific challenges. They're very specific. And unless you're walking that walk, sometimes people can't quite understand. So listen, it's been an honor for me to be there for you as a friend, and you've been there for me. So it's just, that's why we say iron sharpens iron. Yeah.
All right, so we're going to be finishing up here. Oof. And I was proud of myself. I almost got through this whole.
Yeah. But you're doing great, girl. You're doing great.
So one of the many reasons why, like I said, Blair has got this real estate, this major piece of real estate in my heart. It doesn't matter what I'm doing. Blair shows up. Bottom line. Sebastian will be 13 tomorrow.
Wow.
And Blair and Desi were there within a week of him being born. Blair, everything I'm doing, from the movie that just aired on Lifetime, A Question of Faith, when that was about to premiere in the movie theaters, Blair was there at the preview.
Yeah.
At MegaFest in Dallas, Blair and Desi showed up. I did a one-woman show in LA, small, art house kind of theater. Blair showed up.
You're amazing in that.
Thank you. But here's one of the ones that a lot of people don't know about. So when I was in college, I did a talk show that I produced and I hosted called Campus Spotlight, live with Kim Fields. And who do you think was my very first guest? Now, this is a college talk show at Pepperdine University in the big 300-seat auditorium that we had. And it was airing on what was called CTV, which was, I think, college TV. So if you had the schools across the country that had access to that, they could see this show. And who do you think was my first guest? As if I was the top show on TV.
But you know why, Kim? You are so incredible. The reason people love you, the reason you have such longevity to this day is because you're genuine. People adore you, but you hustle. You don't ask anybody for a handout. You want to earn yours. And you're always thinking, as long as I've known you, you're thinking outside the box. When I came into this business, you know, it was 1980, 84, 85, around that time. And coming out of college, the whole mindset was get an agent and let the agent do the work for you. And to me, the first person I saw in our industry was Spike Lee, who said, no, you can change the game. You can write, direct, and produce your own thing. And when we met as friends, I saw that same fire in you. You said, okay, I have this gift that God has given me, which is a career and which is celebrity. Because you and I, we talk about this all the time. Celebrity's got nothing to do with talent.
Yes.
You can be talented and not have celebrity.
Yeah.
But if you're blessed with it, it is a gift. Yeah. And it's currency, right? It's currency that you can pay forward.
Yeah.
And from the very beginning, when I saw you, I always saw that drive and that hustle and that grind to say, I want the next step. I want to direct. I'm going to do my own talk show. So where are you doing your talk show, Kim? I was on my college campus. Okay. Let's do it. Let's do it. But that's what it's all about. I mean, you know, matter of fact, it's so funny you mentioned that, because I think you should do another talk show on NBC, CBS, ABC, or something like that right now. That's the next level. But anything you've reached for and aspired to do, 9 times out of 10, you'll reach that. And we've watched you. Your fans have watched it. Your friends have watched it. Your family have watched it and watched you reach those goals. So it's just, listen, on the real, it's an honor. It's an honor to be in your life. It's a joy to be in your life and to watch you soar. And I'm just on the sidelines in the wings like so many other people, and say, go, baby, go. Go, do that. And you're doing it. So yeah, so here we are on your birthday, and now we're doing Instagram Live. So what time? All right, let's go, Kim. Let's go.
I'm going to use my shirt right quick. You make me so mad. I was looking all nice.
That's real talk, though.
Yeah.
You know, you inspire a lot of people and don't even realize it. I know you know your value. I know you know people are watching you. People watch you since you've been a child, but it goes way beyond even that. People are always watching and learning and growing and being inspired by you.
In my book, this is the last thing we're about to leave you guys with. And thank you. I don't want to glance over everything you've said, but if I sit down in it, I'm not going to get back up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I hear you.
So in case you're just, because the numbers have been going like through the roof, and I'm glad everybody is inspired by this. You know, that's one of the many things he does. Everything Blair does is intentional, but inspiring is just kind of a byproduct, a benefit. Anyway, one of the things that's in my book, because I mentioned Blair and things that he has dropped into my life several times in the book. But okay, sorry, for those of you who are just joining, this is my birthday countdown. My birthday's May 12th. I'm doing 12 days and sharing people that have been gifts to me over my lifetime with you, as my gifts to you is sharing them. Alexis was last night. Lord have mercy.
Yeah, that was great.
I told her, no, I'm not gonna throw her under the bus. But anyway, so Blair is tonight, and it's so fitting that Blair is here as family. Blair ain't here as Blair Underwood. Alexis was here as family, not because she's Alexis Fields and Alexis Fields Jackson. I kicked Yvette Nicole. I kicked off with my family. And then through the week, oh my gosh, we've got amazing people who are my family. But it's a skosh different, just a tiny, tiny bit different. So anyway,
my battery's about to die, so I'm going to plug my phone in. I'm with you.
Okay. So Blair once told me, he said, Kim, don't be a blessing blocker.
Ah, you remember that?
When you told me that?
Yep, absolutely.
He said, Kim, you don't ask for help. You don't like to ask for help. You don't like to feel that you need help. You like to be there and do everything for everybody. And so you're blocking someone else's blessing of being able to be a blessing to you.
Wow, you remember that. You remember that. Yeah.
I remembered it. I put it in the book. I didn't take credit. But I remember that.
Yeah, well, you know, the thing is, people can give you information, but if you don't listen to it, it just sits there and it goes away. It dissipates. You know, it's ironic. I had that conversation with my kids last night at dinner. So our kids, as you know, are 18, 21, and 23. You know, the young people. You know, two are in college. Our oldest Paris graduated college, and my daughter Brielle's at USC, a junior, and our youngest is 18. He's at Duke. Blake is now in college, and we were talking just about that, just about how, you know, like a lot of Blake's friends right now are getting into internships. Now here we are in this global pandemic, and he's like, "How are they getting internships? And nobody's even working right now." And I said, "Well, a lot of that's relationships.
Yeah.
You know, a lot of it's their network, daddy's network, mommy's network, friendship network." And I was telling them, I said, you know, use your mother and father when we can. But all three of them are very independent.
Mm-hmm.
And they don't want to ask for help. And I said, listen, it's a lot of that push and pull, you know, and it's for even us as parents, you know, it's a push and pull. Like, when do you give help and when do you say, no, you're on your own?
Yeah.
I said, what I appreciate about all three of you is none of you ask for too much help. None of you are like, you know, do this for me. But you can also block your blessings if you think you have to do it all by yourself. But maybe part of the blessing is allowing somebody to help you. Maybe that's their blessing. So it's usually a dual blessing. You get the blessing out of the knowledge and the information and the direction. Yeah. And that person gets to be blessed because they're able to give to you. So anyway, it's ironic. We were just talking about that same message last night.
And he told me that a good minute ago, y'all.
Yeah, that was a while ago.
That was a while ago.
You're past that. You're way past that now.
Well, amen. But because I had to make room for other blessings from you, other gems to drop into me. This has been so amazing, and I'm so proud of you. And a lot of people were asking about the name of my book, but right now it's about Blair's book. So, Blair, yes. Did you think I was not going to mention that? Please. So Blair has Blair Underwood Presents.
Oh, watch out now. Watch out now.
Okay. Again, the dopeness just jumping all off of this thing.
Thank you, Kim. But this is about you and your birthday right about now. Well,
okay, sure, yeah. And so with me sharing my gifts in the people who have just been a part of my life, I'm so proud of Blair because he has this wonderful book project that he is presenting, Olympic Pride, American Prejudice. And it's so good. It's about the 18, right?
Yep.
The 18 athletes who defied Hitler and Jim Crow to participate in the 1936 Berlin Games. And it's a wonderful, wonderful project, a wonderful, wonderful project. And it's so good. I've been so inspired by the read and by seeing these men and their journeys and their highs and lows to get to those places that they got to. And I even told Sebastian's tutor, find ways to make this a part of his curriculum. Because I felt like it's certainly stories that he should know, as just, again, humanity. And not just for a young man of color, but just a young man. And then, of course, as a man of color. But first and foremost, as humanity. What was that project like, you bringing that together?
It was amazing. This is another powerful sister, Deborah Riley Draper, who wrote, directed, and produced the documentary. So she created this, spent 4 years shooting this documentary about these other 17 athletes, in addition to Jesse Owens, who we all remember won the 4 gold medals during those Nazi Olympics. This story is about the other 17 that history forgot. So it was amazing narrating that, I kind of came on as executive producer and narrated the documentary. But then I said, wait a minute, this should be a book. This really should be in book form. So that's how the book came into being. And I'm glad to hear you spoke to Sebastian's teacher, because Deborah Riley Draper is her name. If you don't know her name, check her out. She's phenomenal. She has a whole curriculum where we're going to bring the book into the whole different schools all over the country. So we'll talk more about that.
Wonderful. Oh, wonderful. Well, you know, I'm here for that. I am here, and
oh yeah,
I can help as a parent, as a whatever. Just let me know, and you know, you always know you got you. Yeah. So
yeah, I will definitely let you know.
Good. Guys, please give it up for my beloved Iron Lighthouse, my one of my dearest friends in the world, one of my longtime family. I'm so grateful to you and for you and to your family for pouring in everything that they did. When I was, and I was signing off, but something I just remembered in terms of your family, because family is very important to Blair. And you are a part of the family. You in the family, and that has never been truer for me on a very, very personal, microcosmic level than when, right before I turned 21 or 22, I was in a car crash, and the driver of that car, I know you remember this, but the driver was killed, and I had to go through physical therapy and a lot of things, but it was very, very, I had to go through emotional therapy and everything. But it was imperative. My friend who was driving was from Houston, and it was imperative to me to go to the services. And the doctors and my mother, everybody said I was not to fly and not to go by myself. Blair's sister, Marlo, one of my dearest, go-to buddies, especially in college and all of that. But she's cut from that Underwood cloth family. And she said, I'll go with you. And she went with me, and she helped me in the most personal. I couldn't do some of the most basic functions for myself. And this sister put on absolute sisterhood. And helped me and cared for me and helped me in those moments and helped me get through that. That Underwood cloth is real, family.
Yeah, Marla, she's an amazing young lady. That's my baby sister. Yeah. So I make sure she's watching this, or I'll make sure I send it to her.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So,
No, go ahead. No, I was gonna say she's shown up for me in a lot of ways like that too, just as my baby sister. So glad to hear that story. I know that, but I'm glad to hear you share that.
Yeah. So thank you so much. Thanks everybody for being a part of the countdown. Blair, thank you.
Hey, listen, you got what? You're doing 14 of these before your birthday? 12 of these?
It was 12, birthday? Yes.
It's 12. Okay, so if I had heard that there were like 12 other folks who were doing your birthday celebration and you hadn't called her, brother, there'd be hell to pay. We'd be having some conversations. So, hey, listen, I'm honored. I'm grateful that you called. I love you. I respect you. I adore you. I appreciate you. I'm proud of you. And you just keep doing your thing. And, listen, we're on lockdown right now in quarantine, so I won't be able to see you. But enjoy your actual birthday when you get there on May 12th. And just know that we love you.
I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you for stopping in and being a part of this. I really appreciate your time. Thank you.
All right.
Kiss Desi.
You got it. Anytime.
Kids for me.
I will. All right. Best to the family.
Okay.
All right. Bye.
Okay. Well. Whew. Anybody else? Just like, wow. I'm so glad you guys enjoyed it. Thank you. Thank you. You're welcome for sharing. But I thought it would be selfish of me to just keep holding on to these wonderful gems of people in my life. And, you guys in a different way have supported me over the years. But in order for you to have the me to support and the me that you support, I have to have my village. I have to have those pillars in my village and in my community. So like I told y'all, he's just, yeah. Yep. And he's that's for real. I mean, just authentic, authentic. And this was the first time that he and I have interacted like this in a public forum, in a public space. So this was very, very special to me as a part of my birthday. So I'm so glad that you guys enjoyed it and that you got some gems out of it yourself. Thank you to my coffee partners at Signature Blends by KF. So when you see me get my little sips in, I do have my decaf. And so thank you to Signature Blends by KF, my coffee line, for presenting the Birthday Vibes Countdown. And being a part of my life and my, kind of my new role in the last couple of years as an entrepreneur. And so thank you so much for the support. And to all of you, hey, Gabrielle Dennis, I love you, sister. You can check it out and watch Alexis's as well. We have that. But I'm just so excited that you were able to be a part of these relationships and these friendships that mean so much to me. And we only had 12 days, so it's not like we can, get everybody on who are pillars in my village, but, we're trying to get who I can. To answer your question about the coffee is available exclusively at Signature Blends by KF. You can also visit us here on Instagram. Again, at Signature Blends by KF. That's also our website. And enjoy lots and lots of delicious blends, premium gourmet coffee, and tea as well. And I'm very proud to be a hands-on entrepreneur. And, even everyone supporting me with my vision as an entrepreneur. So this was so much fun. Thank you so much. Thank you. I am loved by my village, and I love and appreciate my village. That's why, last thing I'm going to say, when you guys ask me about or talk to me about, how have you stayed in it so long and not be, that we didn't hear nothing about you, or you didn't go to drugs and alcohol and self-destruct. Y'all are meeting members of my village. Some of them you already know, but certain relationships you're not aware of. Do you know how much I owe my village? I wish I would go out like that. That was never an option. I had told myself I wasn't going to be a has-been at 18, and I wasn't going to be a statistic. That's not an option for my village. So now you see why. Another person in the village. I could never. And those were decisions I made before I was anybody's mama or wife or grown daughter and sister. That just wasn't an option. And so by the grace, mercy, and power of God, here we have another birthday, a very, very different type of birthday in this time, but nevertheless, amen, another birthday. So jump on over to Signature Blends by KF and become a member of our blended family. We don't say customers and consumers. We say our blended family. We've got a lot more. We've got some wonderful, wonderful more members of my village to share with you. Some are famous, some are infamous. But you will, I hope that you'll enjoy them as much as I do. Mwah. Thanks again.